in the back corner when I'm not presenting.
Listening in.
And listen in.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Bash University Live here on Tuesday night.
Take a quick break. Watch John Cruz's on the Tokyo rig.
Be a part of the show. Get some chances to win some awesome prizes.
Just Bash You Go. You know, we didn't have that back then. And dude, it can just...
That text thread gives me so much energy. I mean, like I'm dialed.
Welcome to Bash University Live. I missed the cue as usual.
You always look down just in time.
I was talking to the guys over on the instant message board. They were asking me how I was doing. So just to let all you guys know, I'm doing fine. Got a little run-in with COVID. We're on the mend, feeling better every day. So it's good to be here at Bash University from Tackle Direct Studios. We're glad to be back. Super excited. A great guest tonight with a great topic we're going to dive into. We have Davey Hite, Hall of Famer, AOY 2 times, winner of the Classic, winner of the now non-existent Forest Wood Cup, but he won it when it was a big championship. Many other things, as well as a co-host and commentator on Bassmaster Live, and really excited to have him with us tonight because we're going to be diving in to what's happening at Santee Cooper. Got a big tournament going on this week. Ike's going to be down there. The elites are down there this week. The weather's stable and warming. Could it be a sight fishing smash fest? Could be. Giants live at Santee. Love that place. It's one of the most unique bodies of water in the country. We're going to be diving in talking about pre-spawn, spawn patterns and techniques. Of course, Davy's from South Carolina, extensive experience on this body of water, and we can't wait to have him. So good to see everybody at the Classic. Had a blast down there at Lake Hartwell. Congratulations to Jason Christie. By the way, the champ is going to be with us next Tuesday night for our next Bash University Live. So make sure that you're here next Tuesday as well, 7 p.m. as usual. And we're going to have the champ with us, breaking it down. How did he do it? How did he pull it off? It was amazing. Been so close so many times, and it was great to see Christie win by just a few ounces. So really great show tonight. Good to have all you guys with us because, man, we were all at the Classic together, and most of us all but me came out unscathed, BTC. Well, I got it.
Well, Pete, I mean, you know, if you will it, it'll happen, you know. The power of negative reinforcement.
You think just because I towed the line, I didn't go out and play around with all you guys.
That's right.
That I'm the one that got it.
What kills germs, Pete? Tin cup whiskey.
There you go. I did get into the tin cup a little bit on Sunday night at the Ike after party. That was
apparently
not
enough, Pete.
Not enough. I needed daily consumption.
That's right.
My mistake.
Yep.
I'll get back to it. I see Riz working hard. Good to have you with us, buddy.
Good to be here, Pete. Happy to be doing another Bash U Live. Hopefully we got some of our new Bash U family watching with us tonight. What a great event we had at the Classic. So many people came through. And I feel like our Bash U fam grew just a little bit, you know, not only in the form of new subscribers, but also in the form of new people that are working with us, like our man Alex down there below. Yeah. Looking, you can see him coming live from the Beach Towel Studios. If you're watching out there, guys, Alex is actually a full sizer. He's not a
full-grown Alex.
He's not a little fella.
Yep.
He's a full-grown man.
Yep.
And he fit in real well with us down there at the Classic. He really really towed the line and pulled his weight. So we were happy to have him.
I got to witness Alex and Travis Manson meeting for the first time, which is pretty awesome. He worked for Travis for like, I don't know, 2 years or something, and they met for the first time. Of course, Travis, just downplays the whole thing, so anticlimactic with him.
That's what happens when
if-
you've been asleep for 1,000 years.
Yeah, he's like, how you doing? Yeah, come on, we gotta go. He's
I
always
did
on the
make
run
sure I had
somewhere.
some
you know?
garlic in my pocket when I met him. I wasn't taking any chances there.
Damn right, protect your neck.
I had Mike Reed on standby with a wood stake just in case anything went sideways there. He was ready. He's waiting.
That's the guy you need.
That's wise.
Wise
For
move.
but I did get to hang out with you out. It was surprising. You're like 6 foot something, man. You're
He's a full-grown man. He's a 6-footer.
you're a military guy, man.
I ate my vegetables and drank my milk, Pete. I don't know what else I can say.
and you could talk Bass University talk, and you did that very, very well. Thanks for all the hard work, man. I appreciate it.
Sure thing. Yeah, it was a lot of fun down there. Nice meeting everyone, and excited for Knoxville already. I heard that's an even more fun area than Greenville, so we'll see what we can get into next year for sure.
Yeah, it's got potential for good times.
It'll be big, and of course we got JK coming in from our Georgia studios. I saw some crazy pictures of you today, JK, with some new fiberglass.
New fiberglass indeed. And you know what? I was sad to say goodbye to the cat. That Bass Cat Cougar, as you and Riz well know, is just phenomenal. And it was a special first boat. But I'm not going to release any pictures in the public about this new boat until after the MPFL Hartwell event. So I'm going to remain incognito and let people figure it out for themselves what the new boat looks like. But enough about me real quick. I got to touch on two headlines. Okay. Yeah. Our pal, friend of the show, 2-time winner of Toyota Series last year, was already had some great finishes this year. Andrew Loberg just took the lead going into the final day down at the Harris Chain.
Yes, sir.
This Clear Lake, California kid is putting the bass fishing world on notice, man. Yep. He's got Michael Neal, who's one of the hottest anglers on the planet, another friend of the show, hot on his heels. They both caught giant bags. I think Loberg had like 22, took the lead, and Neal jumped in with like 27 today. So I've got my eye on that final day tomorrow. I want to wish our pals good luck. But man, young Andrew Loberg, unbelievable what this kid continues to do. Like, he just got a top 10 at Gunnersville. It doesn't matter where he goes in the country, the kid just catches them. But pretty cool to see. Wanted to say that. And another friend of the show, man, our boy Byron is just making us all wonder what we're doing with our life. Had a 41-pound bag over the weekend. Man, we might see him get that state record that he's after. So just want to give our boy Byron a shout out. Because I'm kind of sick of my fishing down here. I think I'm going to travel north here pretty soon, maybe as soon as next weekend. And
don't go too far north.
Sample the waters.
Well, I also want to say hey to Gray Buck, who slipped in for a top 10 at the Major League Derby down at on the Harris Chain.
What he weigh in today?
20. Well, what did he have today? He had 20.
How much that dog weigh?
He had a 20-pound bag and snuck in 9th place.
Nice.
That boy Gray.
Yeah, that Andrew Loberg, man. That, like you said, JK, he's absolutely just crushing it out there. But dude, Andrew, if you're watching right now, either straighten it out with the net or just leave it in the box, dude. I see him. I've watched several highlights now where he's either halfway netting it and then putting the net down and scooping them, or getting the net tangled up in other rods on the deck. Like, dude, I don't know, man. You might be better off going down there and scooping them things, but no, for real. Good work, man. Bring it home. We want to see you get that dub.
It's fun to watch Florida tournaments in March. You know, we always go there in January and February, and you always get those massive cold blasts that kind of make it challenging. It's really cool to see them in more stable conditions this time of year. You know? Really duking it out. So be cool. We got championship Wednesday coming for that tomorrow. We'll be rooting for you guys. Good luck in that derby. And we also want to welcome Bass Boat for Sale to the Bass University. If you're buying or selling your bass boat, check out Bass Boat for Sale. It's a great company. You can list your boat. You can list it till it sells. They specialize in dealing in boats that are ready to go on the water. So you're not gonna find any standard fixer-uppers on Bass Boat for Sale. All good stuff, quality bass boats. So check them out. Get your boat listed and sold, or go find your next boat to purchase over at Bass Boat for Sale. And welcome to the Bass University. And Riz, what else do we got going on tonight?
Yeah, so as always, Pete, we got a couple of Gills Gear gift cards going out the door. Two $25 gift cards for some questions that we bring in throughout the show. We also got a Facebook like and share. That's a $50 sponsor pack from all the companies we work with here at the Bass University. And then also a grand prize going out the door tonight as well with some sponsor products and one of these fresh Gills Gear hats will be included in the grand prize tonight as well. So that's going to be a $100 BU sponsor prize pack, including
it's $75, but I'm going to sign it.
Wait, yeah, BTC, we'll sign it. We can do that? Sign BTC hat? Put it like on the bottom there so it doesn't take up too much. But, guys, fresh looking lid here. So, as always, if you're watching on Facebook, like and share tonight's feed. And, if you're not signed up, now's a great time to join the program. You can still sign up for Bash U right now for 50 days for free. Okay, guys, this is the largest platform for bass fishing education on the internet. Our website features over 1,000 videos, all with one goal in mind: to help you catch more big bass. Right now, we're releasing 4 new videos a week, and as a member of the program, you get unlimited access to our entire video catalog. And guys, in addition to that, we have a great member benefits program that you have access to when you're a Bash University subscriber. All the companies that we work with at the Bash University, you get up to 40% off those companies, guys. The Rapala VIP program, we're talking 15% off cash and rods, 30% discount at missile baits. Guys, it really does pay to be a Bash University subscriber. So get joined up, guys. Take that 50-day free trial. Chat with us on the message board. We want to hear from you. We're going to be talking to Davey Hite about the next Elite Series, Pete. I can't wait to get into that with him.
I can't wait either. It's going to be great. And Greg, GDP is going to be down there. GDP was with us at the Bash University booth. Want to give him a shout out. Did some amazing hummingbird tutorials.
Indeed, he did. Oh yeah. I can't wait to view it. It really was. It's really going to be eye opening as he took on color palettes, which how, when, and where to use those. And some other really cool stuff at the Hummingbird booth. So, GDP, good luck to Ike this week. And Brian, I guess it's time for us to take a break because we got the Hall of Famer Davey Hite coming on real soon. Let's go.
AquaView, the leader in underwater viewing technology. Find what you are looking for. Catch more fish. Have more fun. AquaView. Seeing is believing.
Why do you love casting fishing rods?
I'm truly losing less fish.
Is the sensitivity of the rod.
That they're made right here in North Carolina in the USA.
Strongest, lightest rod, 100% made here in Sanford, North Carolina.
From the drop shot rod to the flipping stick. Every rod has a purpose to it, and I rely on them all the time when I'm out there in a tournament.
Durability in the John Cruz Worming series, the counterbalancing in the handle.
It's the only rod I found that can withstand my hook set. Boom goes the dynamite.
different. Some would say obsessed. There's no place on earth we'd rather be than right here, right now. Performance-driven gear, so you can fish longer, harder. Gill's Performance Fishing.
And we're back.
Be great to be just be real.
Yeah, well, it is real because we are back live. As you guys got a little piece of our behind the scenes. We always have great shows on the commercial breaks, Davey.
That's what everyone wants to see.
That's the real show. But without any further ado, you guys know who's on the show tonight. He's Hall of Famer, Bassmaster Classic champ, 2-time Angler of the Year champ, Forest Wood Cup champ, everything champ. Great to have you with us tonight, Davey.
So it's great to be with you guys. This is kind of my neck of the woods, I guess you say. I grew up on Lake Murray, but now I really love being here at Santee Cooper, and it's a great time to be here. Had a cold front coming in a couple days ago that maybe set things back a little bit, but I still think it's going to be an awesome tournament.
Santee is notorious. Why is that? I mean, why are the fish so big at Santee Cooper?
Well, it's just, down south, so to speak, Pete, but so much cover, and through the years, so much vegetation, and now not as much vegetation. And that is what it is. That's a whole different conversation, but there's still good vegetation, a lot of cypress trees, a lot of cover, and, food, cover, and warm weather grow big bass.
Man, I just know, from years past, it was, we fished there when there was just a little bit of grass. That was last time I fished there anyway. I think it was with the Bassmasters. And we were hunting for isolated patches of hydrilla that had survived, And does that exist now? Is the hydrilla completely gone now, or is it like that still?
So I think the hydrilla is 99% gone. You know how it is when you look at those isolated patches. You don't want anybody to know there's any left, but most of it is gone. A few little patches here and there, but most of it is gone. But it's still a great lake. There's Sylvania. I mean, there's just a lot of issues that some, and I'm a big fan as a fisherman. I'm a big fan of vegetation. I really am, and I'm sure you are, Pete. But there's a fine line there. You have to understand with some of those, the hyacinths, which I love to fish, but it can really be an issue on some lakes. In this Sylvania, it can really be an issue. So hopefully they're working with it, and we can have some native vegetation. The eelgrass is such a great thing, and we basically have lost that down on St. John's, Lake George, and those areas. But eelgrass is a native vegetation that I hope that we'll have back here at Santee. Mm-hmm. There's more of that than there is hydrilla here now, but very little of either one. But eelgrass is a great native vegetation that I hope we can get back and all through this southeastern area.
I didn't even realize eelgrass was a thing at Santee these days. So that's got to play a big role in this derby.
Yeah, sometimes I talk too much, Pete. I mean, I still got fisherman in me, but I have to talk honest with you also.
Keeping it secret. That's the secret eelgrass patches. They got to be gold down there. And we're gonna. I want to get into that because I want to talk about the spawn is going to happen, but I want to mention this because I'll never forget this at Santee. It is the most ferocious driving lake, boat driving, because I remember coming out of the causeway. What do they call that? The connection between.
So there's like a safe canal. You come out of John C. Land. Typically, mm-hmm. That's where most of the major tournaments go out of right now. And you come out, that's Talcott Creek, and you take a left or a right. But the safe channel is, you go left, you go about a mile, and then there's a cut through that you can go across to the other side of the lake, and that's probably where you're talking about. And that's the thing that our bad weather, our bad winds are usually west, northwest, or north, but that safe channel is safe from stumps, but those waves slap you in the face, and I know that's the one you're talking about. I can remember back in the day, and Pete, Mickey Bruce, it was an invitational, and he was sitting on the passing side, a hero of mine, and they're coming across. That's the problem. Toledo Bend's, the Great Lakes are the Great Lakes, and the waves are larger, but you can maneuver them. But you go to a place where there's timber and there's certain channels where you're talking about Seminole, Santee Cooper, Toledo Bend, and you can keep on naming them. But those are the places where you can't maneuver those waves because you have to stay away from those stumps. And man, it's interesting. You've never lived until you experience it.
Dude, you said a mouthful. I mean, I remember those waves were so big that like you didn't even know there were trees there until the waves came, because you would see those big stumps like coming 4 or 5 feet out of the water that you had to stay in those lanes. And then through the causeway, I remember the one day the wind was blowing right up into the causeway where the water was against the wind, and I was trying to go into the lower lake. Those waves were 10 feet tall, and they were stacked so close together that you couldn't hardly maneuver out into the lake. It is a crazy place to fish when the wind blows.
So Pete, that's that particular tournament. I know the exact one you're talking about. That is, I remember that. You and I were both fishing. They were 150s in, I guess, not elites, but basically the same deal. And ran down, went through the diversion canal, and the wind was blowing straight into the canal, and the current's going out. It's like the jetties going into the ocean. And there were boats. I mean, it was like 8-footers. It really was. And there were boats, as I come up to the canal, start the swells and all that stuff, there's boats just kind of sitting there thinking, can I maneuver this? But I knew a little shortcut, cut through Black's Camp, took a ride, and got out there in some shallower water that did not have that current. And but that was if you were there, you don't ever forget that.
I would have appreciated that intel prior to the takeoff, Davey. I tried to go. I went through it, and I had to run back and forth between the diversion canal and do that serpentine kind of quarter the waves until you got out, and then they started rolling like they do up in the big water up north. But yeah, that's a ferocious fishery, and but it's worth the trip because man, oh man, the big ones were caught then, and they'll always be caught, I think, at Santee. And we're coming up, like we looked at that cold front, and that always going to knock things back. But we've seen this so many times. You get the cold front followed by a stable warming trend. Man, anything could happen. It could break loose.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be good. It really should be good. We got the full moon coming. I think it's tomorrow night. And then the trending weather is great. In pre-spawn and spawn, I think the trend going up means so much versus trend going down. In the fall of the year, the trend going down can actually be better. But in the spring, in pre-spawn, headed to spawn, the trend going up is great. It looks like we've got everything set up to really be an awesome tournament.
Do you think it's going to be enough? Do you think 70 degrees is going to be stable and warm enough to drive a spawn?
Yeah, there'll definitely be some fish spawning. There's no doubt about it. I don't know with way we kind of got set back the last week. I mean, it was 24 degrees. I've been here at Santee, Cooper for 6 days now. And it's very unusual. Sunday morning it was 24 degrees. Very, very unusual. So it definitely set things back. But the moon, the length of day, the temperature trending up, all those things are very, very positive. There'll be fish on the bed. There'll be fish caught sight fishing, and there'll be fish caught, just fishing, knowing that they are on the, bedded, and you have to fish slow for them, even if you can't see them.
I want to jump in here, Pete. Davey, we're kind of talking about, it sounds like it's not all happening yet, right? We just had the cold front. Nobody's probably looking at them. I can remember some stories from, I think I fished with JT Kinney the week after a Costa, that thrift one out there. And I can remember these stories, and I can remember some stories of old where it just happened overnight. Is this the type of tournament where that could happen, where the guy makes a decision mid-morning to go up a little further from where he's catching him, and all of a sudden he's, Mr. Hotshot? Or you don't think that wave's coming yet?
No, it could definitely happen that way. Several reasons. Number one, because we're in the South and it's a warming trend and the full moon, but the water levels, because we had a rain Saturday, and the water level coming up, but the upper lake has been lower than we really kind of want it right now for several reasons, for the fishing and for navigation. But then when we had that rain, the upper lake came up and they started bringing the lower lake down. And when the lower lake drops, when it drops a few inches, that's huge there. And it has done that. I've been watching every single day. I've been watching the lake levels on Marion and Moultrie for at least 3 weeks. Even every morning at the Classic, I would check the lake levels because I wanted the upper lake to come up. But it really looks like it could work out to be great. And when I say great, the fishing great, but then big changes. And tomorrow, it's very unusual, but tomorrow we don't have many off days before the tournament. But the 3 practice days are up as of tonight, and tomorrow's an off day. A lot of changes could happen, and then during the tournament, it can really, really happen here because the lower lake dropping 5 or 6 inches like it has in the last few days. Those fish, they will leave. But if it stabilizes and comes up a little bit, they could come right back, and it can really happen that fast. And I mean, I'm sure that's why you asked the question, because you've seen it.
Yeah, and I actually haven't seen it. We fished some lakes similar where it seems like our water level can go up and down really fast. I think it's one of the biggest mistakes of my life thus far, living less than 4 hours from Santee and not making a visit. But that brings me to some stories, right? I've heard all the stories. Pete I remember sitting down with Wesley Strader when we filmed with him, and he said his biggest bass ever is 9 pounds, 15 ounces. And he said the only time that he ever knows he had a double digit on was under this dock at Santee Cooper. He doesn't know how big it was. It was 11, 12 maybe, but he kind of brought a knife to a gunfight. He had like 15-pound tests. And if I remember correctly, Pete, your big spinnerbait lost fish, was that Santee Cooper?
No, that was in Texas, but
okay. Well, and it made me another story from JT of him. Well, he caught a big one in that Costa, I think like a 9-pounder. That's another fun story. But he lost a big fish. What's the deal? Is the cover just that nasty? Is like you can't get away with your standard operation here? Like, I guess bring me up to speed on that.
Well, I mean, you can land a big fish with light line anywhere, including Santee Cooper, as long as they don't, get you in the thick cover. But that's part of what makes it great. I mean, I grew up on Lake Murray, and I love Lake Murray, but I don't have a place on Lake Murray anymore. But now I do at Santee Cooper. All of our lakes throughout the country seem to be more developed and more recreational traffic and less cover. Hartwell is a great lake. It was a great classic. And it was one of the best, if not the best classic I've been associated with ever. But the cover is boat docks. The shoreline cover is boat docks. But here you just have so much good cover, and that's what helps those fish to get bigger, and that's what unfortunately helps those fish get away.
Yeah.
They're monsters there. There's no doubt. Although that's not I saw big ones. We fish for big ones, but this is likely going to be a spawn. Now, I remember lily pads playing a big role in some of the tournaments down there during the spawn. So So I guess it's going to be a eelgrass lily pad deal or cypress trees, obviously, right? They're the big three down there.
Yeah. Well, eelgrass is really not the big three. I opened my big mouth is what I did. Talked about it, eelgrass, but there is some eelgrass, but it's not one of the big three. But cypress trees and lily pads, and then there's some boat docks here also. But cypress tree and lily pads will be great. There's a lot of, believe it or not, now there's a lot of man-made brush piles and cane piles here, which was not the case back in the day. Pete, that tournament that you're talking about that I remember so well, that was not an issue. But now there are man-made brush piles and cane piles here, along with the cypress trees and couple different types of lilies.
Okay, I remember the lilies being tough. Like they didn't tear that easily. I don't know what variety they were, but they're real stalky suckers, you know?
Oh yeah, frustrating. I mean, you make the perfect cast, and your line just comes right up in there, and the Senko gets right in that crack. And Dave Mercer has got a word for it that I don't say, but I mean, it'll mess the Senko up. I can tell you that.
This is a great segue to. I'm going to bring up electronics here, Davey. We're talking about all this cover variety. Cypress stumps or cypress trees, rather, with all the knees and they're kind of unpredictable. You don't know exactly which direction the knees might be going out. You got these lily pads and some maybe a little vegetation playing. So the big movement is forward-facing sonar. How much will one forward-facing sonar play? And do you think something like 360 might play even more than just a forward view?
Yeah, you nailed it. I think 360 is a bigger asset here. Forward facing is, it's the thing, and you can certainly use it anywhere. But the 360 to me is more important here at Santee Cooper, because you've got the cypress trees, but then you've got these isolated stumps. You've got Brandon Pollinate here in the fall. The last time we were here, says, "Oh, there's a brush pile sitting." He's going down a bank and he happens to see it on his 360 and throws over there, catches a 7-pounder. So to me personally, the 360 is a bigger asset here than some other places like Hartwell. I mean, forward facing was such a big deal there at Hartwell.
Right.
The 360, like, that's notorious for being the dominant tool in shallow water, like at Santee. But have you heard of anybody using it for spawning fish yet, Davey? I've not heard. We have, we get a lot of really talented. Drew Cook comes to mind, sight fishing, bed fishing gurus, but I've not heard guys talk about using that, like blind fishing for spawning fish, using Mega Live or something. Has anybody seen that or heard anybody doing that yet?
I have not, Pete, but I mean, I don't know how much time we got left, but honestly, it's a whole nother story, a whole nother topic there. When you start, as forward facing gets better and better, there'll come a time, in my opinion, and I asked Sona about this last week at the Classic. There'll come a time when I think you might have to catch them inside the mouth, whether they're definitely on the bed or not. I mean, the forward facing is so good that it's almost like some guys are sight fishing all day, every day.
Wow.
Yeah, like you could say that, snagging a fish off of your forward facing could be a fish you have to release at some point.
Yeah. I mean, because of the technology now, you just imagine in 5 years, 10 years, what will it be? I mean, you'll be looking at them plain as day in 10 years from now. You really will.
I'm interested, and I've been throwing this theory around. I think the lure manufacturer, I think we're going to see a category of lure that we haven't seen yet because of forward facing. We're going to find a trick that we've maybe never made a cast with that type of lure before because of that technology. I think it's going to open up some doors for the lure guys,
Yep, no doubt. I think it will. I think it will.
Hey, Davey, I just called the restaurant and had them push reservations back a little bit, so we're good.
All right, so I get a quick timeout. My friend Andy Crawford here, still photographer. You guys know Andy. He just drove all the way from Louisiana. I got to tell him where the steaks are, and he's about to put them on the grill. Okay.
Yep.
They're right there in that refrigerator, and put them on that grill right there. It should be hot. I got the cooking tray there for the grill, everything.
Can you move your background to have the grill and the steaks in the background instead of the soffit?
Yeah. How about some of this?
There we go. Oh, come on.
We got some friends. They're doing some s'mores there.
Hey, how you doing over there?
Isn't that awesome there?
Yep.
Then
put in an order for medium, please.
Yeah.
For Sandy.
So I got a special person right here.
I am Carl Jockinson's father-in-law.
and he's getting cheeseburgers off the grill, and Andy's putting our fillets on the grill. I mean, we're having a time here.
Damn. This we got to change the way we travel at Bash University, guys.
No kidding, gosh.
Davey, guess what we had to hype us up before the first day of the Classic Expo?
I knew this was coming.
Pete treated the whole crew to a smorgasbord of Domino's pizza. You don't even understand how big an insult that is, Davey. We're from New Jersey, so pizza's a big deal, and he treated us to Domino's, Dave.
Yeah, even I don't do Domino's.
Exactly.
That's harsh criticism there, BTC. But if you guys would have got the booth set up earlier, we could have had steaks, anything. But you took so long that we had to get pizza. But
it's all right. Colo and Ken Duke took us for ostrich. Medium rare. Yeah. It was great.
Damn right.
It was great.
Was it really? Awesome.
It really was, Davey. Like, it's a red meat. You'd never think ostrich was a red meat.
It's
a red meat, and it was like this Saskatoon Wild Game Steakhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And Ken and Colo were adamant about ordering ostrich, and then BTC and Riz, they dive right in, and I'm looking at the buffalo or the elk, and I'm like, well, gosh, I can't miss out. So I dove right in, man. We had ostrich.
My favorite part was he made sure that Pete didn't get invited, so we made up for the Domino's faux pas.
Okay, we will prevent BTC from getting an invitation in the future. There you go. back to Santee. Riz, Alex, do we have some IMs for Davey? I'm sure there's some good questions coming through.
We do.
Oh, sorry.
It's not hot. Now my mic's hot. Yeah, so we got some great questions. A lot of interaction on the board tonight, as always. The first question that I'm going to go with is from Coach Prince, and Coach Prince is a Santee Cooper guy. Thanks for stopping by and seeing us last week at the Classic, man. It was good to meet you in person finally. Coach Prince wants to know, what lake do you think the tournament will be won on, Davey? Marion or Moultrie?
I think it'll be one on Moultrie. And, the last time the elites were here was in the fall of the year, and most of the guys that made checks and did well were on Lake Marion. But I think Moultrie, if the lake will settle out and come up a little bit, I think that's where it'll be won this time.
That is the lower lake, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then talk to me about cypress trees. When fish spawn on cypress trees, is there a trick to it? Or, I mean, I'm asking for selfish reasons because I'm going to be fishing the James River next month at the Open, and we might see some spawning fish. And I have never bed fished or even been involved with spawning fish around cypress trees.
Pete, you know how to ask all the right questions or all the wrong questions. I've already told you about the eelgrass being here, but I'm going to be straight with you. I'm going to be honest with you. There is, and when I think about a cypress tree, there's the trunk of the tree,
mm-hmm.
and then there's a donut around there, which is the root bed. And within that root bed, you have the cypress knees, some trees more than others. But there's times when those fish are right up around the tree trunk itself, and there's times when they're on the inside of the donut, And then also on the outside of donut, there's edges there, and you know that bass love to relate to edges, and sometimes it's the edge of the trunk, sometimes it's the inside edge of what I call the donut around the tree, and sometimes the outside. And the big key to fishing cypress trees, instead of thinking, well, it's a tree I'm gonna throw around it, is really dissecting that and knowing where they are relating to the trunk of the tree, the inside edge of the root ball, or the outside edge of the root ball and the cypress knees themselves.
Okay, so that was really well said, Davey. Now, speaking of somebody, like I've only experienced it at the St. John's in the fall as far as fishing cypress trees and a couple other places. So now that you say that, with that being the big key, how important is like contacting the tree? Like, do you want to lay your bait up right on the tree? Do you want to scrape the root, or does it even matter in the spawn?
Well, that's the big key. If they're on the trunk itself, then you want to make contact with the tree. Okay. If they're, you know, and that root ball that I'm describing, it can be 10, 12 feet away from the tree. There's times where you're fishing cypress trees, but I'm fishing 10 feet away from the tree. And it's all about making a pattern and trying to dial in on where you need to present your bait and have the highest percentage. Whether you're fishing, and you know, last week at the Classic, whether you're fishing the walkway of the dock or the main part of the dock, it's the same way with cypress tree. There's so much more than just the tree itself, and being able to dial in on where those fish are relating, just, you know, you're more efficient when you're presenting your bait on that certain edge.
Are any of the cypress trees in places where you think you can sight fish? I remember like there being a lot of stain or dark, that dark tannic water around a lot of those cypress trees. But can you sight fish around them?
Yeah, you know, Pete, a week ago I was here, I guess right before the Classic. The water was lower and clearer, and you could see what I've just described about a cypress tree. You could see all of it, and from 20 yards away, you could spot a fish on the bed around a cypress tree. But now with the rain we've had, the water is stained. There's a lot more stained water coming. Then not so much this week, but a week ago and 2 weeks ago, yeah, you could absolutely see that.
Interesting. Well, it'd be fun to watch guys sight fish around the cypress trees, because it'll be a tutorial for me for my upcoming derby. But I want to send it to Alex. Alex is monitoring our stuff over at YouTube and Facebook and other places. You got some questions for Davey?
I do, yes, Davey. We got a good question that came in here from Joe V, and I'm going to award Joe V a $25 Gills Gear gift card for getting this in. Joe, appreciate you being a part of the program. And Davey, he wants to know, it's more of an introspective question, not necessarily about the event, but he wants to know, what do you think set you apart from all the other anglers on the Elite Series or whatever tour you were fishing at the time? What do you think set yourself apart from all the other anglers out on the water?
Well, I'm going to go there. Pete will probably remember this, but I said when I did my first AOY speech, it was because I had a pair of lucky underwear that I wore like the day of the tournament. I'd wash them every night. But seriously, I was blessed, work hard. My biggest asset as a tournament angler when I was fishing was I started very, very young. I started, I grew up fishing, and I guess you'd call it commercial fishing. I sold fish, catfish, that sort of thing. Had to catch bait every day. Had to catch, and we baited with shad. I had to catch threadfin or gizzard shad, and I learned at 12, 13, and 14 years old, where do you go find those shad? And that was huge for me. I didn't even have a flasher, and I just learned where those shad were at certain times of the year. Now, today we have tens of thousands of anglers that start fishing tournaments at 12, 13, 14 years old. And I was the only one that I knew of. I mean, every little pot tournament that I fished, like $20 entry fee on a Saturday morning. I was 14 and the youngest guy was 40. I mean, but I really got started at a young age. And now we have so many anglers. That's why it's so competitive now, because we have so many anglers that are in their early to mid 20s that have so much experience. And back in the day, when I say back in the day, only 20 or 30 years ago, our sport is so young. But 20 years ago, there were very few teenage anglers that were spending a lot of time on the water. So to answer your question, just a lot of time on the water at a very young age in my generation.
That's great. I remember, man, you and KVD were like the guys that were young that were able to go and compete. I remember, when I came, I started at 28 and I felt so young compared to the guys that were uber successful. It was the Browers and the Fritz and who had, 15 and 20 years experience on me at that time. But nowadays, man, guys are coming out of the gate with a ton of experience like we've never seen before.
Absolutely. It's changed our sport, no doubt.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. And great question, Alex. I'm going to throw it back to you, Rich, for an IM question.
Yeah, Team No Fish on our message board here. Mr. Andre Albernaz wants to know, Davey, if you had to pick one angler who's going to get it done this weekend, who would you have to go with?
Oh, geez. Patrick Walters comes to mind. He grew up fishing here. He's a dominant fisherman anywhere in the country. He's the first one that comes to mind. To be honest with you, he's fished here a couple times, and it's a whole hometown pressure. He's wide open. When I've been around him doing Bass Live out on the water, he is wide open. Whether if he's at Fork or Toledo Bend or wherever, St. Lawrence. But I think now with a couple of these tournaments under his belt here locally, he'd be tough to beat here this week. I really think he'll be there on Sunday.
Do you think if Patrick gets it done, do you think he might do your patented churn the butter dance on the front deck of the boat?
Oh, absolutely. I think.
I mean, he's got the trunks to do it, man. He can get a real wide stance, in the high rollers and hit the churn. He'd look pretty good.
I don't know. Yeah, he looks. I think it's the short shorts he wears kind of makes him look a little thicker around the midsection. I don't know. I shouldn't even pay attention to that, to be honest with you.
We're actually at the media day, we got some content of Patrick's leg, and we're actually going to do. It's like a leg lamp from the movie Christmas Story, but it's going to be Patrick's leg for the leg lamp, and it's going to be the bass lamp. So,
right there. I'm ready. Oh yeah, I sent it to Patrick today. Give him a little juice going in. It also helps that Patrick's just really mad at him right now. So that doesn't help for the fish at Santee this week. Davey, I got to go back again. You mentioned you started out young, so now I got to ask this. Obviously, being from Georgia, watching you dominate when I got into the sport, and me and Pete can both thank you because we definitely had big wins on a Mop Jig in our life. When was the first bass you ever caught on a big old Mop Jig?
I remember my first bass ever when I was like 6 years old. I don't remember the first one on a Mop Jig, but here's what I do remember. The first major tournament that I was committed to a living rubber, a heavy rubber jig. It was the 1994 Bassmaster Classic.
Wow.
And Brian Kershaw won that. But I had a good tournament. And it was just a hand-tied South Carolina, North Carolina jig.
Yep.
And the funny story is I was fishing it before 94. So I'm going to say, the first fish was probably 91, 92. It was my main bait in the 94 Classic. But the Mop Jig name came from, and Dr. Roy Altman there in Augusta, Georgia. I'm sure you guys know really well. He was hand tying them. That's Buckeye, became that. But it really didn't have a name. But then when I won Clark Hill, and KVD and I are great friends. We do family vacations. He was right here around this pool this past Memorial Day, him and his family. But, and when it comes tournament time, he didn't tell me a lot. I didn't tell him a lot. We're just competitors. And I had a decent little lead on him going into the final day at Clark Hill, and I threw one of those jigs over in his boat. Ooh. Yeah, I waited till I felt like I had him, you know. I'm going to help a brother out now that I know you might finish right behind me. And he looked at it. He's like, what? I said, you need to throw it. He's like, really? I said, yeah. He said, how much do you trim off of it? I said, nothing. And he said, dude, that looks like a mop. He flipped it upside down. He said, it looks like a dirty mop. And I told Dr. Roy Altman in Augusta that the day after, and I won the event. He said, there's the name, Mop Jig. So really, KVD named it Mop Jig.
Oh, that's too cool. What a story. Thanks for sharing that with us. Now, what about this week? Do they eat that at Santee? Will we see any Mop Jig catches this week? I love a Mop Jig on a full moon. Always have. Will it play?
I promise you, I would have several of them tied on if I was fishing this week. And you know, there's Zona and I have filmed a couple shows here, and he does the wacky finesse, and I do the mop, and you know, I would have them tied on. I can just tell you that.
I love it. Love it.
Hey, JK, you got more? I thought you had a top 5 list.
5 minutes.
Oh, we want that now? No, I'll do that after Davey. After Davey. I won't waste his time with that.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Davey smells them steaks burning. It ain't Domino's, Pete. You got to get it while it's good.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm doubling down, Davey. We're gonna get Pizza Hut next time.
That'd be better.
It would actually be better, but I'm gonna buy my own food from now on, so don't worry about it. And probably stay at my own place and probably work for somebody else, like your competitor or whoever.
Oh my God!
Keep it coming, Pete.
We're taking applications for producers.
He's right there, right next to me.
You would get fired on live, BTC. If anybody did, you would be the one to get fired on live.
You can't fire me. I quit.
Davey, it's really cool. I'm glad you picked. I've seen you on live. I know you have you don't like having to pick somebody, and picking Patrick Walters for us and stepping out. But I want to, you know, we're gonna let you go. Appreciate you hanging out with us, and it was great seeing you down at the Harris Chain and the Classic, and want to wish you all the best. Have a great week this week. I know it's going to be a great show.
Thank you so much, Pete. You guys, you're the best. I really enjoy being with you and watching you when I'm not, you know, on there with you. And stay tuned this week. It's going to be great. Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Oh, we're watching every second.
See you.
Yeah, see you in Dayton, right? We'll see you at the Chickamauga event. That's right, Riz. We'll see you there. Enjoy your dinner. Say hi to everybody. Thanks so much. The great champ, Davey Hite. Thank you, buddy.
Right. Thanks, Davey.
That was awesome. I didn't know KVD named that jig. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't either. What a great story you shared with us. I you know, I'm not surprised. I can remember actually him winning a Davey. I don't think Davey won this tournament, but I think he had the early 2-day, 3-day lead at Gunnersville. And it was so funny because as a fan, I'm watching it and they caught this. Skeet Reese ended up coming back and I think winning that tournament. And he was trying to figure out what Davey was doing. So Davey was cranking offshore, right? You know, I think there's a shad spawn. Davey had found some deeper fish. Davey's sacking them up at Gunnersville. Well, Skeet is like, Davey's leading. I'm going to figure out what he's got to be throwing a mop jig. He tied a mop jig on and caught like 2 6-pounders the next day and like overtook the lead on a mop jig while the shad spawn was going on. It was a crazy catch. You know, he's on the bridges just mopping them up on a mop jig. But yeah, Davey did it, man, with that big jig.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I know, you know, I used it in '99 for my first win. My very first win came on that style of jig, and it was called an L&M jig out of, I believe, North Carolina. Made him. I don't know if he was influenced by whoever, but that's where we picked him up. We picked him up through, I got BTC, the Solies, Ted Soley.
Really?
introduced to the Mop Jig.
No kidding.
Yeah. Way back in, and Ted was one of those guys. He reminded me, he fishes like Jason Christie fishes, like absolutely stubborn about it. He'll put the big giant jig on, and he would flip that, and he would come in with one fish for 12 inches, or he would come in with a monster bag, and he made the classic fishing that way.
Yeah.
So you know,
so he's just like his brother Bob, stubborn.
Bob is stubborn. Bob's versatile though. Like you know, he'll switch, and he's got he'll throw that drop shot. Ted refused, man. He was going big or he was going home, and he was willing to take it that way. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, they first, I saw the Mop Jig through them, and recognized its potential. But yeah, that was really cool. It was crazy how Davey used it out in like kind of open water. Like typically we fish it around grass or wood or that kind of cover, but Davey won fishing it like during the herring spawn, like out on the
easy now. No, I do. I mean, I think it's going to be a player for me coming down the pipe here next month. Lakes around here, it's something people put away after the wintertime. You know, it's like once the spawn happens, guys forget about a jig, lose confidence in it, and for whatever reason, it's like after the spawn, when they want a big meal, sometimes they're on it. Now, sometimes they're not. It's like your buddy weighing in 12 ounces. Like if they're not on it, it's just they're not on it. But if they're on it, it's like a methyl trickworm. When they're on it, like you'll catch every fish in the lake on it, you know. Yep. And I'll throw everybody a little bone. You know, I actually get mine custom tied. I've thrown the Buckeye ones back in the day. They are great for grass. They're horrible for wood. I'm not saying it's a horrible jig. It's just not a good dock jig. It'll get hung up. You'll get stuck. It's just not efficient. There's, you know, other good ones, but the True South Custom Lures guy, I think they merged with Biz Baits. John, he ties them up for me. So Pete, you'll have to ask him for a few jig ties up, because that's for wood. When you want to fish a mop jig around wood, that head he makes, it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
You've given me I have a couple Justin Kimmel mop jigs.
Those are the old ones. I didn't discover that one yet.
Yeah. I got a question. How do you keep them from melting? How do you keep the rubber skirts from melting? Because I had a really nice mop jig. I was so excited to throw one day, and now it's just a glob.
I keep them in the plastic.
I'm not that issue, BTC. If you don't have a trailer on it, I've not had them melt.
Keep them in your bags, man. Like I've never had them melt in a bag like that, and then put them in like your plastic containers.
All right. Well, how about after you use them?
Oh, dude, yeah. When I use a jig in a tournament day, it never comes back ever again. I'm done with it. I'm with that.
Throw it out the window driving home?
I'll practice with it if it survives, but you know, I got a pile of jigs that I'll practice with, but I don't really ever use them.
The Buckeye comes through the habitat better than the one that we used to fish. Man, it was, you either caught a 4-pounder on it on your cast into wood, or you had to go into the wood and dig it out of there. It it could not come through the wood at all. So the edge style is critical. But BTC, take a quick break, because I know we're going to talk about the Classic. We're going to take some Q&A. JK, you've got your top 5 list. I thought that was for Davey. My mistake. But let's take a quick break, and we're going to be right back. We're going to be live from the Tackle Direct studios again right after this.
Moment on the water not spent fishing is a moment wasted. That's why Minn Kota and Humminbird have joined forces to bring you the One Boat Network. Products that communicate and integrate to help you take full command of your boat. Born from our commitment to making the most advanced fishing gear even better by making it work together. The One Boat Network will help you find, get to, stay on, and catch more fish. When One Boat Network products talk to each other, they can navigate your boat automatically, They can give you a crystal clear view of what's below with no messy wires. And they can let you lower, raise, and change shallow water anchor modes from anywhere on the boat. But that's just the beginning. We're never done innovating, integrating, and making your boat simpler and easier to control. All so you can make every second on the water count.
Tackle Warehouse is proud to sponsor the FLW Pro Circuit and is the official tackle retailer of FLW, providing proven bass fishing gear as well as the newest and hottest tackle. Our friendly and knowledgeable customer service staff can help you every step of the way. And we offer free ground shipping on orders over $50. Tackle Warehouse. Everything for the bass angler at the lowest prices. Guaranteed.
I have to be constantly on the lookout for new techniques to stay on the top of my game.
Giant.
Some have been more successful than others.
Giant.
The finesse fingernail happens every time. The chain gang.
Broke it off.
The crow's nest.
Never let go.
And don't even get me started on tackle management, especially trying to stop rust and corrosion. Peanut butter. Not good. Motor oil. Gotta keep the rust off all these baits. WD-40. Gotta keep the rust off. Silica, toothpicks, Q-tips, the list goes on and on. I'm hard on tackle, I fish fast, I need my tackle organized and protected. I can't be worrying about losing baits to rust. And when it comes to tackle management, there's only one solution. Flambeau Tackle Storage Systems with Z-Rust technology. The original anti-rust tackle box. Uncompromised clarity. Renowned durability. The infused anti-rust option that is FDA safe and free of harmful chemicals. The organization options are endless, but there's only one. One box, one anti-corrosion technology, one family-owned, American-made brand, Flambeau Z-Rust Tackle Solutions. Preserve, perform, repeat.
We're back. Welcome back to Direct Studios, Bash U Live. We man, what a great ambassador of the sport, Davey Hite. And you know, I took a minute to go back and look at his credentials. You know, and he hasn't. This is something else that's amazing. He retired in 2016. He hasn't fished for 6 years on tour.
Wow! And he's got 3 wins.
He's got 8 wins on the Bassmasters. He's got you know, 2 Angler of the Year titles, Classic, and so many other big wins. And I'm still mad at him because of the Red River win that I came close to winning that one, and Davy just masterfully snatched that one away from me.
I thought you were mad at him for getting the Bass Live job over you. So it's more than that. Okay. It goes deeper.
He's a good news bear tonight. Is that
spicy?
I didn't know. That's what I thought it was about. I didn't know it went back to the Red River.
I have invitations for you up to the Great Lakes that are on the cancellation list right now.
Can I get in that? I'll take his place.
We'll see. We'll see if it ever happens.
Be good.
And just so you know, Jocelyn and I had actually it was a barbecue plan just like Dave's having tonight. We were gonna cook on the grill. We are gonna have all kinds of cool stuff, but we ran
stuff.
What here?
No, for our classic pre-classic meeting.
We had
but it got canceled because we just ran out of time.
Yeah.
So,
well,
it happens.
Nah, honestly though, Pete, in your defense, the grill that was at the house that we were staying at, we got a little bit hoodwinked on the status of the grill.
In the house.
Yeah, there might have been there would have been a serious fire hazard if we would have been cooking on that grill, and we also would have needed tetanus shots the next morning after the dinner.
Okay, the Riz makes a valid point, and this we've never done a live on-air Airbnb review.
Oh God, let's do it.
Let's go.
If you need a link to a house that has amazing pictures, and then the quality of the product is nowhere near the quality of the pictures, hit me up. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, whoever did the photography for that Airbnb needs to have a job somewhere for some high-end stuff.
Probably used to work at Glamour Shops or something.
what was it, Alex? In the first day, we sat down on the couch. A couch
broken.
Opened a drawer. The entire drawer fell out of the cabinet or whatever it was.
Yeah,
and
we had a couch
in the pool house villa where Brian and I were staying. Sat on the couch. Same thing. Boosh!
Light blows out.
It's like somebody set it up. You know what I mean? Just
Definitely.
set it up just like on the angle. So as soon as you sit down, you just get smoked. Well, that.
But for me, the best part, they had some decks, some composite decking down. They had it could have been a 12-foot or a 16-foot board, didn't matter. There was a one nail at each end, and that was it. The whole rest of the board, not a single nail in it, just tacked at the ends, man. It's like there was a nail crisis.
You've heard of floating floors, right? These were floating boards.
Yeah, there's a nail crisis. One per board, It's great.
Last year, I tried to get eaten by 2 dogs on our Airbnb.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
It came with dogs.
I got porched by two mean dogs.
You got porched?
I got porched.
Oh, that's great. Never heard that.
I can't. You're hearing that story for the first time, BTC. Everybody heard that one, but
I wasn't invited to that either.
It's always an experience. It's really cool. We have a really cool Airbnb rented for. We're going to be at Chickamauga, guys. We look forward to seeing you guys if you're in Dayton. If you're down at that lake, going to be attending the elite tournament. Make sure you come by and see us. Bash U is going to be there under our tent. We're going to be doing some cool stuff on the stage as well. So
nice.
Make sure you come by and see us, and we will have a whole new set of Airbnb stories because this one looks awesome.
Outstanding.
looks absolutely amazing.
Oh, I got a comment here, Pete. From I got to get to it. I love it. From Jay Tomlinson, we met him at the after party Sunday night at the Classic, and talking about our pizza. He said, "I destroyed 11 years of my life working for Papa John's." I don't know. I love that. I destroyed him.
Bad as that pizza was, man, I was really looking forward to having like a late night pizza snack, but Riz made sure that didn't happen.
I went home and ate.
What did you call it? Like a pizza sleep snack? You had a name for it. It was
Nate probably had a name for it. Honestly, Nate has all kinds of names and thoughts on my eating habits. Here's the deal. And this is how I operate. Whether it's a tournament or whether it's like something the next morning, you got to eat as close to the point when you're going to bed as possible so that you wake up and you don't have to eat a bunch because everything you ate the night before is still in your stomach. So that's what I did every night. I would eat a lot right before bed, get up, get a workout in as soon as I wake up in the morning, and then roll out, and we're good to go. So
it was funny because I was looking for a slice of pizza. I'm like, Riz got it.
I must have left a few.
Oh, that was funny. But we had a great Classic. And, honestly, it was awesome. We got a whole new group to the Bash U family. Welcome. If you guys are watching Bash U live for the first time, it was great meeting all of you. And those that know us, it was great that you guys came by and gave such rave reviews. And I love that when you come by and see us and tell us how you're using it to help you be more consistent, help you do well in tournaments or catch your first fish or whatever it is. It's awesome. And we had a ton of that down at the Classic. It was so cool. And we got so much content. We got so many interviews with so many amazing people. I just like to run down a few of them. We got to speak with Micah Frazier, Chad Morgan-Taylor, Bradley Hallman gave an amazing seminar for us. Dennis Blankenship and his dog Holly he was one of our original subscribers. It was great to see him and talk to him. We have Terry Batista was awesome because he's what's the name of his website? I find that website for me. It's Archives. It's Bass Archives.
Bass Fishing Archives. Yeah, he's like Ken Duke with the social media account.
Yeah,
on the website.
That was good.
And here's one of the coolest things that Terry shared with me. What was the bait like? I think it was the first 6 out of 7 classics were won on. What was that bait?
I know.
6 out of 7.
Spinnerbait.
You got to be. That.
I'm with Riz. Spinnerbait.
Spinnerbait.
The spinnerbait. I couldn't. The spinnerbait was so new to the fish, and they hadn't seen it. Even at Lake Mead, the very first classic was won on a Colorado spinnerbait in water that was 40 feet of visibility. Just the fish hadn't seen it. It just goes to show you how fish get educated to stuff. But but that was, check that out. Terry, you got that site yet, Alex? Thought you might.
Yep, I got it. It's bass-archives.com. I put it in both of the message boards, so check it out, guys. It's a pretty cool site. Lots of great information on there.
Yep. BTC spent a lot of time with Doyle Hodgkin.
Oh, yeah.
Who had our 1971 original Bassmaster Classic boat in the shop, and Ken Duke was with me for that, and that's awesome. Always love having Ken with us.
Doyle was awesome, man. Cool guy. Real cool guy.
Absolutely. And GDP interviewed Garrett Paquette. And you want to learn how to use your color palettes? That's coming out on Bass University TV. Bill Lowen, love him. He came and hung out with us. I talked to Rob Jordan, who's one of the Bass University guys, about his new what do you call those baits? They're triple jointed. They're articulated. What do they call it, JK?
2 joints.
Man, we just call them swimmers, but they're a hard swim bait. It's, he did a hard swim baits seminar on the water with us on Bass UTV, and they're double jointed hard swimmers. And Rob probably has one that's coming that's better than everything else out there, which is why he's charging a crazy amount of money, and you can't hardly get your hands on one because they sell out in 9 seconds.
The best part is even you can't get them, JK.
Yeah, you can't get them.
The baits that he brought and showed are amazing. Does some amazing work. GDP also worked with Keith Combs on Lake Master, and Matt Pangrack was love having Matt. Great seminar on his dink and dunk, how to be successful catching them no matter where you are, and so many great seminars. One, I had Austin Felix, and he stayed awake for most of my interview.
Nice.
He almost through, and the highlight for me, and I was nervous sitting down next to Hank Park.
Yeah.
And Brian asked me, you said that, are you nervous? And I'm like, hell yeah. Like, it's odd because when I first started watching fishing, Hank's show was there, and he had already won 2 classics when I really had just started to really get involved. And it was really cool to
Pete, how does that work? Like, you started watching him, you were a little kid, and he was, and now you're like his grandfather's age, and he's still the same. How did that happen?
Yeah, the good news bear is visiting me again, but
trying to cheer you up, Pete.
Hank is timeless, man. He looked good.
Yeah,
and his energy strong, and he and I was talking to him about a lot of different things, but the funnest part, and you guys got to go listen to, his Slippity Slide, conversation where. And if you guys never heard this, it's amazing how Hank was one of the original cowboys. He would run far stump fields. He'd trick his boat out to go faster than anybody else's boat, and he was just a beast behind the wheel and just a tenacious competitor. And he figured out ways to get into places, and one of them was jumping logs, berms, or whatever, using a slip and slide kid's toy to jump over it. And he gives it in complete Bash University style tutorial. So
that's great.
Love it.
Hey, Justin and Rich, remember the story? Was that when we were out with Ken and Colo about Hank running back up that creek with the island in the middle?
Yeah, and he and everybody else followed him, and they got stuck on the mud flat.
Yeah. Yeah, how'd that go?
That wasn't the same one. That was just another one Ken told us. Ken Duke told us about Hank.
Yeah, what was the details on that?
All right, so there was an island.
Yeah.
And it could have gone both ways. This way is the river channel or the creek channel. This way is just complete flat, stump flat, dangerous. Hank knew that there'd be a big crowd following him at some point during the tournament. So he figured out how to run it, and basically had to like stick things in the bottom of the place just to find that little ditch. And so the morning of the classic or whenever it was, he got all these media people, because he did not like the media coverage, which Pete unveiled in that interview. Yeah. And so he runs through, and all the people are coming behind him. They all just run aground. So he runs, fishes in peace the next day, and then when he comes back, he just took the nice and easy
He took the easy way out. That's so awesome, man. It's so heads up.
Yep, that's funny. People continue to be sneaky. I remember Mike worried about that when he won the Classic in New Orleans. He was trying to, because all the boats were identical, he was trying to camouflage himself. You couldn't discern him from any of the other anglers, and when he took off, you wouldn't know who to follow.
Was he wearing like one of those like fake eyeglass, like mustache deals? You know what I mean? Like costume shop.
Looking like Jimmy Houston or something.
Yeah.
He hadn't progressed to his level of costume wearing that he is today.
Yeah.
But at the time, he just threw up a hoodie. He's just trying to just mask himself. Not unlike JK is trying to camouflage himself. In tournament.
That's a
gotta
good
do
move.
what you gotta do, Pete.
Pick the right time to get a new boat.
Good point.
The new culture is if you catch them, they'll come find you and do the double click button. So we gotta at least have our little run here.
Yep. Well, I have images that can be leaked at any time, just so you know.
Well, I don't think I've done anything to frustrate you like Brian. I should be way down the list.
I'm trying to take the heat off you, JK. Running cover for you.
JK, let me throw it to you, man. You've got a list that you prepared for us tonight. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, and I'll make it quick. I know we're moving on, but man, Davey couldn't have set this one up better tonight. I kind of had an inkling we would go there, and it just got better because he's talking about the cypress trees. I loved talk. That's so unique. I love talking about that stuff. And it's unique to Santee Cooper. And this Thursday, not by accident, we are going to bring the public the Patrick Walters, who Davey picked to win, the Patrick Walters seminar on fishing trees. Yes, he dives into cypress trees. He's talking about standing timber, which he won on Lake Fork. He is talking about laydowns, stumps, and anything that has to do with a tree in bass. That habitat, that seminar is coming to you guys on Bass U TV. So you're going to see it on Bassmaster Live, and we're going to have the seminar for you when you want to go deeper. So I just decided, hey, our top 5 Bass U TV videos let's get specific. Let's click that categories button on the top of front page Bass U TV. Let's scroll down under bass habitat and let's click wood cover. So we're talking about wood. What are the top 5 Bass U TV videos that you can get the most out of for wood cover. First, I'm gonna talk to you guys who are still kind of in the winter. This one's more specific, standing timber in the fall and the winter. And that's Brandon Cobb coming to you on the water. We released it this past year. A great seminar for you guys. Next on this list, we have Roland Martin. Yes, I said Roland Martin. We've got the man talking about light, structure, and cover. And there's a lot of great stories. For those of you guys who like story time, Roland's going to bring it. And he's got some really interesting things on when it comes to fishing wood cover, and some brush pile stuff, and just all kinds of stuff that'll blow your hair back coming from Roland. And then here's one that's more of a classic. I think this one's been around for 5-6 years, maybe. I remember because I was there in Columbus, Ohio. Pete was there too. John Cruz talking, and it basically is fishing wood cover. But he went really into detail, man. I'll never forget what he was talking about, the times of year that you contact cover and how important it was, and how you might need to go heavier than you think you do. And then the other times of year when you need to go as light as you can. And it just really, really stuck with me, something that has always stuck with me. Just thinking through when you're fishing trees and wood cover throughout the season. So awesome seminar from John there. A couple more here coming in at, second to last here, or number 2, if I'm counting backwards. Flipping Bushes with Greg Hackney. This is the seminar I always wanted from Hack. We've all seen Hack win tournaments, flipping bushes, high water events. He's just one of the best at it, whether he's flipping that 1 ounce Hack Attack jig or it's usually that, I guess. I mean, I don't think he's using anything else but a heavy jig. But, man, he goes through the seasons in this one. He's going to walk you through pre-spawn all the way through the late summer and fall, and how fish use bushes, when bushes play in each season, and, walk you through, sometimes you want to go heavier versus lighter, when to go maybe pick a Texas rig up instead of a jig. All that stuff's great seminar from Hack. So Greg Hackney, Flipping Bushes, make sure you watch it if you fish bushes or have them to fish at all. And then saving the best for last right now, because he's the hottest name in bass fishing, Mr. Classic Champ, Jason Christie, an elite flipping and pitching class. And no surprise, there's tons of tips about fishing wood cover, flipping bushes as well, because he's obviously from Oklahoma and does that a lot. And he likes to flip a jig on a dock or two. Man, just an awesome topic. We're kind of getting there, where bass are starting to use wood in a lot of areas of the country. It's obviously one of the big players. And man, Bass U TV has a ton for just that one topic. Guys, I can't say enough. That categories button is the best, is JK's favorite way to use Bass U TV. So there you have it. Top 5.
Yeah, great. JK, great list. Great tying it into what's going to happen at Santee. It's going to be all about wood and lily pad. We have an abundance of both, styles of fishing content on Bass University TV. I love JT Kenny's lily pad seminar is one that comes to mind and has been used to win on the top level. So great list. We got a trivia question that we're going to ask. I just want to run around the room for just a real quick, this is comment from you guys. Alex, I'm gonna start with you. This is your first Bassmaster Classic. Give me a highlight from going out at night to eating pizza, Domino's pizza, to
meeting Travis Manson,
meeting Manson and surviving.
That's a great question, Pete. And there's definitely a lot of memories that stick out. Travis's, those might be more of like an Ike Live. We could go over some of his lines and stuff I heard, but we'll save that for another time. The thing that probably makes me laugh the most when I think back on it was just Mike Reed and I, we had gotten into the Tin Cup a little bit. We finally figured out how to pull up the Auburn basketball game for him, kind of like we alluded to earlier. He just goes to sit down on the couch to watch the game, and the front left leg of the couch did not like Mr. Mike Reed, and he went straight to the ground and was sitting at about a 45-degree angle watching the game for the rest of the night. That's got to be my highlight. I know it's a weird one, but I thought he was going straight through the whole floor. I was just glad he stayed above ground. I'll say that.
That's awesome. Hey, shout out to Mike Reed. As always, our salesman extraordinaire. There's nobody that can talk Bash TV like Mike Reed can, and you guys are all phenomenal. Yeah. And somehow Mike is just wonderful, and hope you're doing well.
What's his secret?
North Dakota are going well. Oh no.
How dare the Air Force send him to North Dakota? He's such a great salesman.
Oh, right, man. Tell me who I need to talk to, Mike. We got that order rescinded somehow. We gotta keep you in the Bass Belt, buddy. And
they're sending him to North Dakota.
They're
not even like South Dakota. No, North Dakota. Like extra sucks. Oh my God.
Like close to Canada. Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
In the Air Force, you got promoted, and that's the station if he decides to take it. And but the positive side, how cool that part of the country is. Like, it's got to be amazing. Like northern Minnesota, I've been to, and the Vermilion Territory is like smallmouth, like heaven. It's crazy good.
For 3 months out of the year.
Well, 3 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
But when it's awesome, it's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go by age. Riz, what was your classic highlight?
I should have.
Well, he too broke a couch leg, but
I think everybody broke a couch.
Those legs been broke. They've been broke.
I'd say playing darts at the after party.
Yeah, who knew? Riz is like phenom in the dart world. He crushed everybody.
Seeing a dartboard at the after party was pretty cool. That was like a little slice of being home. But no, I mean the classic was, it really was this year was different because it was the first one back after COVID. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And last year obviously we went, but we kind of did a scaled down version a little bit, kind of kept the crew, a little bit lighter than normal. But this year we really, we were right next to the Ike Foundation, and we had everybody in the house, all aspects of the business. Everybody was there, and it just really felt like we had a big presence this year. So all in all, I'd say that everything about it this year, and we were when it came time to get stuff done with like setup and breakdown, it was like all hands on deck. And like that's one of my favorite things about the crew we work with. It's like, when we put our minds to getting something done, and it's like everybody agrees, like, all right, this is what has to happen, and it has to happen now. We need it to be done in an hour. It's just like boom, go, and and we seem to make it happen. And it doesn't matter how many more people come into the mix. We just kind of fold them in. And we had Scott with us this year. He's our new marketing guy. And we had Alex with us this year. We had
Doyle.
Like I said, the foundation ladies were back with us this year. We had Doyle hanging out with us. Doyle rules, and
Doyle rules.
So all in all, I would say it was just a good classic all around.
It's a great classic.
It's funny how you say post classic or post COVID, as I suffer with COVID right now.
Yeah, but Pete, you look like $1 million, man.
Yeah,
You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
You're good.
you got the. Never mind.
I'm on the other side, guys. I got some shout outs and appreciate you guys.
You got that Domino's pizza version of COVID. If Domino's is pizza, you got that COVID version of COVID.
I got the watered down Domino's version. I did.
And thank God you did, Pete. Honestly, you know what I mean. Seriously, this ain't the one that the earlier stuff. probably would have been a lot rougher on you.
We're about out of the woods now, I think. Though, so.
I'm the Cron version, I'm sure, because I have not lost my sense of smell or taste.
That's
so,
good.
I would disagree with that second part.
You might have had COVID for a while. Does it affect your choices on what to?
I'm sorry, Pete.
We're gonna let down, Pete.
All right.
He's just trying to make something happen last minute for us. Ryan didn't like it.
Why Ken Duke's not on the show? Because Brian picks on me, I pick on Ken. You know? But AK, you give me your highlight.
Oh gosh. You know, it centers around the people. You know, it was fun at the Ike Live party. The Sunday night, last night, my wife got to come up, and you know, we went to dinner with John Cruz and his crew, and then went to the Ike Live after party. Got to see everybody there. Kicked off the Classic this year, getting a really cool opportunity. The Academy Sports Celebrity Pro-Am does their every year at the Classic. They do that, and you know, I got to fish with one of my childhood baseball heroes, Chipper Jones. Was an incredibly cool day. But dude, there's nothing like. I just love it every year. Our Bashu crew grows every year. You know, we added Alex. Heck of a sales guy. Love it. You know, but I love just doing that. You know, like Mike Reed. We had everybody back. You know, we were always down somebody the last couple of years. We were at full capacity, and just seemed like, man, the energy level around our Bashu crew, the culture that we have here, it's legit. You know, it's really positive place to be around. A lot of just family feel, and we're doing legit fun stuff. You know, and it's all centered around a great legit product. I can't say enough about it, man. It's all about the people for me. So, and it's nonstop. It never ends. You know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
When you sign somebody up that, like, you know how much what we do is going to benefit, that's what it's all about for me. Like, when you see, like, it's funny. Like, one of the main, well, not the main, but, like, one of the things that I would do at the Classic, like, you know, obviously we talk to a lot of people at the Classic, and conversations kind of just become, like, you know, you feel like you get into the same conversation over and over and over. Eventually, at one point on day 3, I was just like looking for people, like looking for like college anglers and high school guys, and just being like, you, come talk to me. Come here right now. Come talk to me. Just to tell them what Bashu is all about. And like
spreading the word.
Yeah, when somebody signs up that you know how much it's going to help them, that's a cool deal.
Yeah.
Solid.
Second that, Rich. That's what it's all about.
That is really great commentary. Thanks, guys. And I want to pass it on to the good news bear. What do you got?
What was your highlight, Brian? Was it pizza?
Yeah, my highlight was pizza. Pete turned me on to this new pizza, corporate lizard pizza. No, that was a lot of highlights, actually. You know, getting there was one of them. It was a circuitous route that I took, but I got there. And meeting Alex, you know, I had Alex pegged in my mind, you know, as about
5'8",
5'6", 5'7", maybe a 5'8", probably. And here he was like on a full scale set of legs, you know, standing there, just shorts on and real legs, and he was right there with like, all right, man, no idea, man. That one really blindsided me and took me a while to get used to, but I was very, very thankful to see that. So that was a highlight.
So your story, your travel there was you missed your flight you drove to Carolina.
That's right. And I waited till 9:30 to leave Jersey so that I wouldn't get crushed in traffic in DC. And I was parked on the highway for 2.5 hours in DC because so many.
So wait, you didn't want to wait 3 hours for the next flight, so you drove the 13.
All right, so there's two answers to that. One, I would have had to leave and leave the airport to go park my truck because I wasn't even in a real spot because the parking garages and don't get me started on
that's
Philly.
A whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother story. And bad words are going to come out of my mouth. So I would have had to go repark my truck, then go back through TSA again. That had me aggravated. And then the thought of not having wheels down at the Classic and being, kind of strapped to everybody else's schedule, that's rough. And I wasn't looking forward to that. So
you normally, you stockle other people, but in this case,
I stockled myself. Is that what you're saying, Pete?
That's what I'm saying.
All right. Excellent. Again, the people, like seeing the people again, getting to see Hallman again and Pangrak, and people like that, and
Caesar Casanova.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Absolutely. All that was awesome. The after party was fantastic. George Thorogood's The Delaware Slide. Everybody go check that song out.
Man.
That song of the week.
Should have been my highlight right there. Wow.
I know. It was, this song's from like the 70s. Never heard it before. Just popped up on satellite radio or something. And my God, that song was good. That got us out of a lot of traffic. Dude, traffic clears out of your way. Red lights turn green when they're not supposed to. And traffic parts like the Red Sea. And the song's phenomenal. Check it out. The Delaware Slide.
Very.
Yeah.
All right, is that highlight the Delaware Slide?
All of it, man. Alex's legs and Yeah.
Good
Oh,
stuff.
you know what? Honestly, Pete, another highlight was seeing the Bass U set records and sales. That was a big one.
Oh yeah.
The crew crushed, like
we all
you guys
just glazed
said.
over that.
Yeah, the booth was awesome.
Ho-hum.
We were creating content and Doyle was there with his boat and the sales crew was crushing it. So it was
that was awesome, and it was awesome how you guys really had a big impact. I said this to you, BTC and JK came in and saw the booth set up and helped us get that flow the way we needed it to, and it turned out awesome, and that was really cool. Jocelyn, thanks so much. She made it all work. She's always amazing. Thank you.
Jocelyn.
There's Ike in the booth was cool. We hate to have Ike in the booth because we don't want him in the tournament, but it was cool to have him in the booth. There was just so many great highlights, but one of the cool parts for me was when Christy won, and I'm so excited we're gonna have him next week.
I've been looking for him on YouTube tonight, but he hasn't shown up yet, Pete.
He's what?
I've been looking for him on our YouTube feed tonight. He hasn't shown up yet.
That's not. Is that the real Jason Christie?
No.
Well, his relief, it almost like everybody else that would win the Classic is exuberant because it's almost like it's unexpected. But Jason is just such a tenacious competitor. He's had it in his hands twice, and it just didn't go his way, and it almost looked like he felt it wasn't going to go his way again, as he knew what kind of weight he needed to win. And when he did win, it was just like the relief of a champion. Like, I knew I was supposed to be here and I'm finally here, and it was a really cool and amazing reaction by a super talented angler. And anyway, that was one of the interesting parts of the Classic for me. But Scott coming on board, that was great. The interviews, my Hank Parker interview was a highlight of my interviews, and just a really, really fun Classic. But I gotta say, here's probably my highlight from it, from a Bass U perspective, is people came into Bass U familiar with us like they've never been familiar before. We've been working and building this amazing training tool for so long. And this, a lot of times people come up, what is Bass University? I hardly heard that, but it was, man, you guys are here. Where do I sign up? I've been wanting to join. Where do I join? And I thought that was just awesome. And it was great to be in Greenville and see all you guys, and welcome to the Bass U family. And we're going to be in Knoxville next year. and look forward to seeing all you guys there. And we're going to be at a lot of events, none of which BTC will be invited to.
Or has ever been.
You can look for us at a lot of different places. We got some big plans for Bash U, so look for that stuff coming. And love your list, JK, tonight. But we've got some like and share prize, and we also have a trivia prize. So, Bride, you go ahead with the trivia.
Yeah, here we go.
Roll that out, Bri.
All right. Our trivia question is, what is, we're going to call this Pete? Yep. What is Pete's topping of choice on his Domino's pizza?
Oh, my gosh.
And it is not gluten-free nonsense.
Well,
JK.
That wasn't gluten-free. They messed that up. And it messed me up.
That's got to be hard. So hard if you're trying to follow a gluten-free diet to trust who's putting that food together for you.
I mean, it happens. It was ordered right. It just wasn't prepared right. Somebody overlooked it, and I ate the first piece, and I was like, "Man, this is good." I got the second one, and I was like, it took me to number 2 to be like, is this gluten-free? I might be in for it. And thankfully, it didn't get me sick like it has in the past. But it was messing with the old stomach all weekend long. I'll say that much.
Close
call.
We're sorry about that. We don't have a winner yet, Riz?
Anthony Geis was close.
No, what your topping of choice was? Oh, just it comes in right there, Mr.
There
Higgs.
we go.
Mr. Higgs. Wow, that's actually impressive because this isn't a generic topping.
Is he regional?
I don't know, Mr. Higgs. Where are you from? Hit us up on the board. Let us know. But
pineapple.
Pete's favorite topping, Philly cheesesteak. Philly cheesesteak pizza.
Yeah.
Was the topping of choice, Mr. Higgs.
Ham.
Congratulations.
If anybody
even we're down in South Carolina, I saw that topic come, or that not topping list come up. I had to order it for our group, and it was awesome.
So is that really your favorite topping, or is that just from the trip?
Well, from the trip, honestly, I don't know what my favorite topping is, but it was
the one in front of us.
Choice. Yeah.
I want to know what's your pizza choice now, Pete. Now you're like, you don't know? How do you not know your pizza order?
Oh man, I like all kinds of pizza. There's no such thing as pizza except for pineapple and ham, gluten-free. all pizza is good,
It ain't.
I like pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapeno. I like all those 3 together.
Together?
And if you want to throw more meats on there, I welcome them. Ham, bacon, sausage, bring
I like
it on.
anchovies.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Really?
Anchovies. Yeah, for sure.
Gosh.
Ham and black olives is a really good combination.
Or
it comes out of nowhere, but you got to give it a swirl, man.
Pepperoni, black olives, green peppers. That's a good one too. But yeah, anchovies, dude. That's what I like. Yeah.
And I don't like anchovies or black olives.
That's like I'll get that like once a week.
Really?
For lunch. Wow. I'll get a couple slices from Toscana's down the street. It's with anchovies. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Manchovies?
Anchovies.
Oh, manchovies.
Real salty.
Certainly not around, I'm sure.
Well, I mean,
eating anchovies.
Yeah,
come on,
whatever. You got to keep the evil spirits off you with the anchovies sometimes. Keeps Travis Manson at bay.
Papa John's destroyed my life.
Alex, you're from the Chicago, and what's your pizza of choice?
Ranch.
Pete, I'm like you. Especially if it's free pizza or something, if it's thrown down in front of me, I'm going to eat it. And you're not going to hear me complain twice about it.
All right, we got to dive back into Alex and pizza. He made a comment that he has not been too far off this either. Young Alex said that he had once eaten like 30-something pieces of pizza. What was that?
It was 22.
In one sitting?
In one sitting.
Nah,
yeah.
man, hold on a second. What
That's
kind of
pretty
slices?
good.
Nah, they're not real man slices. What are we talking about?
It was I think it was senior year of high school. We had it was like a retreat or an outing or something, and they ordered a bunch of Pizza Hut. And,
There you go.
I'm a pretty competitive person. So we had a challenge, the person that eats the most slices of pizza gets $50. So in my mind, that's like 3 DT6s, 2 chatterbaits, and a couple of packs of jig trailers. So I stuffed my face full of pizza until I was about ready to puke, and no one else could hang with me that day. So I got my order into the bait shop, and I'm sure all of those baits are lost or snagged somewhere by now, but I'd say it was worth it.
But the memory remains.
Yeah, I mean, even if they're half sizes, 22,
surprised.
that's impressive. That's putting away some food. Good job.
Not surprised.
Thank you.
That 6'4" frame, that you guys called it a beach towel. That ain't a towel. That's a giant blanket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we all thought it was a beach towel.
Total new
No,
perspective.
6'4" right there.
Alex, were you eating the crust too? Or you you just eating the half of it?
Oh, of course. You got to be able to eat your crust so that way you can whistle and that way you can grow a mustache. That's what I was told growing up. So I always make sure to do both of those things so I can come on here with a good mustache and holler at the ladies if I ever need to.
So you can whistle.
Good
Great.
work,
By
man.
perspective, the blanket behind Alex is 20 feet tall.
Accurate. I usually get too lazy. I do have several different variations of blankets. I have a special one that I'll have to pop out next week for you guys. I think Brian might enjoy it a lot. It features Travis Manson and Vampire Form on said blanket. So I'll bring that one out next week, and we'll bless the people with that one.
Right on.
Oh, good stuff. Let's do the Facebook like and share, and let's give away that prize. Riz.
All right, sounds good. Tonight's Facebook like and share is Matt Miller. Congratulations, Matt Miller. You won yourself tonight's Facebook like and share for the Bash University Live.
Mac Miller.
And I want to invite you guys to go down to Santee Cooper. Stefan, who hasn't been mentioned tonight, also did an amazing job with Bash University at the Classic, and is going to be down working for Bash U down at Santee Cooper. So stop by and see Stefan. You can't miss him. He's the one wearing the Bash U the only one with a Bash U visor and the crazy Stefan hair.
Yeah.
You can't miss him. But he loves our product like no other, and he can talk about it like no other. So go by and see him down there, and cheer for Ike and GDP. A couple other Bash U guys are going to be down there battling for the win at Santee Cooper. So that'll be fun. And we'll be, of course, at Chickamauga coming up in just a couple of weeks.
Just meeting Justin Tomlinson at the after party was a highlight too for everybody that was there. Shout out, Justin.
Shout out.
Yep. That's it.
We had some key. We saw the CEO of Bass out at Ike's after party, which was really cool.
That's
and we
saw
saw
the chords. He can sing with the best of them.
That's right. Little karaoke going on. I wonder. I'm sure there's video floating around somewhere.
It's probably like Justin's pictures of Pete. In case he ever needs a blackmail, people got that video. If they ever make him mad, they got him singing up on the karaoke stage.
What? There's pictures of me floating out there?
Oh, was I not supposed to say that? Sorry, Justin.
Man, Alex is bringing the comedy tonight. I gotta say. More.
He just took the heat off of me. One on angling wants to know who our picks are for Santee. I didn't know we were doing that.
For Santee Cooper. Yep. Man, I got to be honest. I haven't seen him shine. I'll go first. But I think it might be a sight fishing derby. And it didn't shine. I love this seminar. It's brilliant for Bash University. But I'm going with your Cook.
Cool. That's a good one.
That's a great pick. And I'm torn between him and my pick. He'd be tied for first, I guess, too, Pete. I definitely think Cook's sizing up a good finish coming up at Santee, regardless of if there's a big wave or not. I think he's going to find the bite that he likes there. But I'm agreeing with Davey. I'm taking my buddy, young Patrick. He's mad at him right now. I think he's going to catch their butts this weekend.
Cook, Walters. Who's next?
I got Hackney.
Great pick.
By the way, Riz won the classic poll. Congratulations, Riz.
Yeah, do I owe you money, Rich?
Nah, Pete paid me for everybody.
Oh, really? I'll pay you money. What I owe
you money.
Huh?
You guys all owe me money.
Yeah, Pete covered it.
What were we in on? What were we in for? $10, $20?
It was 20.
I'm pretty sure it was like new forward-facing sonars.
Yeah, for everybody.
I can't there, but I can send somebody $20. Just tell me where to send it. Pete, did you really pay Rich?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, we'll settle up next time I see you guys. But yeah, it was the classic picks, and you picked the freaking winner.
Yeah, I picked him on both podcasts. I picked him on our show and on Ike Live.
Wow.
So there was no there was no calling it
no waffling over here.
No waffling around.
Not with this guy.
No way.
He says what he means, and he means what he says.
That's right.
That's right. It's kind of guy.
No, I picked Swindle, who gave it a run, but didn't get the W, and none of the other losers on this podcast made it in the cut.
Good point.
No, I picked Cobb. I thought he would make a run at it, and he just had a bad first day. Had a heck of a second day. Wasn't quite enough though.
Yeah, that was a bad pick.
What was your pick, Riz, again?
For Santee, Hackney.
All right, BTC.
Ron Cox.
John Cox.
John Cox.
You just gonna pick John Cox for everything?
Probably.
For John Cox for president?
And he's gonna have a terrible year. It's all my fault.
Yeah,
There's my
I
prediction.
think he's showing up. I think he's going no practice for this one again.
Oh, great.
He was at the FL or the MLF tournament, so he's got like 1 day of practice, I think.
He got probably half a day today. That's probably what he got.
They start tomorrow.
He was coming from Harris Chain.
Yeah,
they start tomorrow.
He's fished Santee before,
Thursday.
I think, and I think this tournament uniquely was going to be a lot of the stuff changing. So I don't know how much practice is going to help. I mean, obviously you might find a location and have to follow him, but I think Cox is a good pick.
Yeah, he gets a sniff of a shallow water spawn bite going on around Cypress trees. Alex.
Travis
this
Manson.
might be a little bit of a dark horse, but I'd have to say Bill Lowen. It just kind of seems like a shallow flipping and pitching, get up there in a aluminum boat and catch you 5 big ones. I could see him having a great tournament here.
Great pick. Riz, you got a winner for us?
Yeah, we already gave it out. Matt Miller, congratulations, you won tonight's Facebook like and share.
Again.
Awesome.
Let's do the trivia again.
There's going to be nothing but love in the Bash University Live.
I had a good time.
And we're going to have the classic champ, Jason Christie, is going to be here and tell us, man, just persistence. Persistence wins. And it won again for him. He's a killer. And I can't wait to talk to him about that. And a lot of other great stuff. By the way, go down and see Stefan down to the Bash University tent at the elite tournament down at Santee Cooper. And we will catch up with all of you at Chickamauga in just a couple of weeks in Tennessee.
Is he there by himself?
He is by himself.
And he set up a tent?
We have a tent that is set. Bassmasters has a tent for us, and we get under that tent and we set up some Bass University stuff. Get our subscription tables rolling and our TV and the whole bit.
Yeah.
You know?
He's running solo, huh?
He's running solo.
Man,
he's done it before.
Man, look at him go. Shout
if
out
you
to
start now, BTC, you can go help him out.
I just might, Pete.
I don't know if BTC even knows like the process to sign somebody up. Does
No, I do not.
But he did sell 1 subscription.
No, I sold like 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old to a couple.
That's pretty good.
Yep. Who else did that here? Raise your hand. Nobody? All right. And a college kid came by, a couple of them, but I think only one signed up. Might have been high school, actually. And, 3 or 4.
Way to go, BTC.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a 400% improvement from last year.
Thanks, Pete. I'll take it.
The data doesn't lie.
That's right. It's math.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Once again, welcome all the people to Bash University TV. We know you're going to love it. Let us know what you think, and if there's anything we can do to improve, or what you guys want to see, because we got a lot of really cool stuff coming up at Bash University TV as always. And check out Justin's top 5 list on Fish and Wood. It's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna play this week down at Santee Cooper. So thanks everybody for watching. Next week we're gonna be back here 7 p.m. Tuesday. We're gonna have the champ Jason Christie is gonna be with us. Can't wait to talk to him. Hope everybody has a great night. Hopefully your COVID is mild like mine, and we will see you next week. Good night, everybody.